The phone shrieked at dawn, slicing through the quiet of my Wyoming ranch like a coyote's howl. I jolted upright, hay dust clinging to my flannel, heart hammering as the screen flashed an unknown 800 number. Against my better judgment, I answered, voice rough from sleep. "This is a final notice," a robotic voice intoned, cold and unyielding. "You have 94 unpaid parking tickets. Settle immediately or face seizure of assets." I froze, standing in my boots by the barn, the horizon still bruised purple. Tickets? I hadn't driven a car in 6 years. My world was this sprawling 200 acres, my only ride a battered ATV that growled like a bear. I laughed, thinking it was a prank, but the voice didn't waver. "Non-compliance risks foreclosure." My laugh died. Foreclosure? On my land? I glanced at my goat, Juniper, who chewed cud and stared like I'd lost my mind for picking up the call. Something was wrong deeply, seriously wrong. I'm Caleb Harrow, a rancher who'd traded city noise for solitude long ago. My days were goats, hay, and the occasional whiskey under stars that felt close enough to touch. Cars. They belonged to a past life, left behind with my last Toyota, sold before I bought this land. Yet, as I stood, clutching a feed bucket, the call's weight settled like frost. I tried calling back, but the line looped to hold music-cheery piano that mocked my growing unease. By noon, the first letter arrived, a crisp envelope stamped with Willow Bend Estates, HOA. I tore it open, expecting a mistake. Instead, it listed 5 violations: unauthorized parking, expired tags, blocking a fire lane. The addresses were streets I'd never heard of cul-de-sacs, and boulevards 30 miles away in a manicured suburb I'd never set foot in. My address was printed at the top, but the vehicles? A blue Honda CIVYC, a white Jeep Cherokee, a black Lexus SUV. I own none of them. The absurdity might have been funny if it stopped there. It didn't. Over the next week, letters poured in 10, then 20, then a padded envelope stuffed with 94 notices, each more surreal than the last. One claimed I'd parked a Lexus in a meditation garden during yoga hour. Another said I'd idled a Jeep by a mailbox, disrupting delivery. Every notice demanded payment to Willow Bend, a place I Googled and found. Tidy homes, yoga moms, 0 goats. It was across the county line, a world apart from my dirt roads and barbed wire. I called the HOA's number, expecting a quick fix. Instead, I got 40 minutes of transfers, dead ends, and finally, a man named Derek Voss, who spoke like he was reading a script. "Our system shows you registered 3 vehicles at 47 Harrow Road," he said. I snorted. "Derek, I don't own cars. I've got goats and an ATV. You got the wrong guy." His voice stayed flat. "System doesn't lie. Dispute it with our compliance officer." I pressed. "Who's that?" He hung up. The word Lien hit me a week later, delivered in a certified letter that felt like a punch. Willow Bend HOA had slapped a lien on my ranch for due law $12,000 in unpaid fines. My land deeded to my grandfather, zoned rural, untouchable, was somehow caught in their net. Panic crept in, not loud but sharp, like a blade under ribs. I borrowed a neighbor's truck me ATV, was hauling feed, and drove to Willow Bend. The gate guard, a wiry guy named Carl, smirked when I mentioned the tickets. "Here for VY, he said, radioing ahead. VY and Kessler emerged. All sharp cheekbones and a clipboard she wielded like a scepter. "The rancher," she said, her voice dripping with something between pity and scorn. I laid it out. No cars, no HOA, no connection. She didn't blink. "Recent zoning changes extended our enforcement area to include your parcel." I stared. "Extended? You're 30 miles away." She handed me a notice, her nails blood red. "Refusal to pay risks foreclosure." I snapped a photo of it, drove off, and felt fury rise not wild but cold and focused. This wasn't a mix-up. It was a trap. Back home, I called Riley Kane, a friend from high school who'd become a lawyer after I helped him rebuild his barn post-tornado. He met me at my kitchen table, the notices spread like a bad hand of poker. "Caleb, They got you ticketed for parking a CIVYC by a yogurt shop at 6 a.m., he said, grinning. You know this place? I didn't. He pulled a map suburban sprawl. Minivans, nothing like my world. No HOA can enforce across zones like this, he said, but his grin faded when he saw the lien. This is real, and it's deliberate. He dug deeper, finding a zoning update filed by VY and Kessler 2 months earlier. It redrew boundaries to snare my land, slipped past county clerks with forged coordinates. This isn't sloppy, Riley said. It's fraud. Sleep vanished. Nights became a blur of Google Earth, old surveys, and county records. My ranch was untouchable, deeded since 1932, yet VY had looped it into Willow Bend's reach, issuing fake tickets to build a debt I'd never notice. Who checked barn mail for liens? I met Riley again, this time with a USB drive of maps and deeds. Someone's tampered with your coordinates, he said. We needed help, so we called Nora Tate, Riley's cousin, a digital nomad who lived in a van and once exposed a mayor's embezzlement scheme. Nora rolled up with a duffel of tech, a jar of homemade kombucha, and a grin. In an hour, she cracked Willow Bend's system. 94 tickets, all entered by VY and Kessler, she said, scrolling through logs. Timestamps are nonsense tickets at 3 a.m., IPs from a public library. She's not even hiding it. Worse, Nora found a new expansion zone function tied to VY and's admin account, letting her ticket beyond legal boundaries for community safety. The fines fed an efficiency fund, funneled to a shell company tied to a defunct contractor. VY wasn't just petty, she was running a scam. We built a case, piece by piece. Riley got a surveyor, Grace Mendez, to confirm my ranch's zoning. Rural, untouched. Nora pulled budgets, GPS pings, and transfer records. I found an old dashcam VY Deo from my ATV, timestamped during one alleged violation, showing me feeding goats 30 miles from Willow Bend. The HOA's quarterly town hall was in 3 days our chance to strike. We prepped like it was a trial. Poster-size maps, laminated tickets, a framed lien. Nora named it Operation Hoofprint, uploading EVY Denke to a secure drive. I added a twisted photo of Juniper with a fake license plate, captioned my only driver. If we were crashing their party, we'd do it with flair. The town hall was in Willow Bend's community center, all rented chairs and overpriced ferns. VY spotted us at the door, her smile icing over. Residents only, she snapped. Riley held up the lien. You claimed his land. He gets to speak. She relented, eyes like knives. The meeting droned budgets, landscaping until public comments opened. Riley took the mic, calm but lethal. We're here about a fraudulent lien on Caleb Harrow's ranch. I set up my easel, unveiling a screenshot, a Honda CIVYC ticketed at 5:52 a.m. I was feeding goats then, I said, showing my dashcam clip. Gasps rippled. I flipped to the fund transfers, VY and's admin tags glowing. Laughter broke out. A man, Tom Reed, stood. I got a ticket, Tunin resident. A woman, Ellen Shaw, nodded. Same. They leaned my shop. VY and rose, face scarlet. This is a smear. He's no resident. Riley cut in. Then why lean his land? The board fidgeted. I leaned forward. 94 tickets, VY. I don't own a car. I've got receipts, VY Deo proof. You drag me into your HOA? I'm dragging you to court. The room exploded. VY fled, knocking over a tray of quinoa bites. By night, a clip of my speech captioned, Rancher versus HOA, went VY Ral on X. The next morning, a tow truck rolled up to my ranch, eyeing my wheelbarrow. Non-compliant, per Kessler's memo, the driver said. I showed him Juniper's fake plate. It's a wheelbarrow, man. He laughed, recognized me from the VY Deo, and left. VY wasn't fixing errors, she was doubling down. Riley filed charges, harassment, fraud, abuse of process. We counterleaned Willow Bend's clubhouse, its deeds shaky from an old transfer. Nora found the gap adverse possession bait. The clubhouse closed, signs reading disputed property. Residents fumed. VYN's voicemail's a mix of threats and panic. You can't take our yoga room. Rancher. I fought back with joy. I hosted a goat parking fest, barbecue, bluegrass, goats wearing toy plates. Thousands came, donations piling into a legal fund dubbed VYN's meter. Cops showed up, saw permits, and took selfies with Juniper. The news ate it up. Rancher turns tables on HOA. Victims emerged. Ellen, ticketed 15 times. Tom, Lien for a guest car. Riley built a class action. Nora uncovered VYN's revenue circle, a network targeting 60 properties. My ranch flagged first. We sent EVY Denke to the feds. Agent Laura Boone called it the sloppiest scam I've seen. Raids followed. VYN was cuffed mid-rant, claiming zoning immunity. Willow Bend's board collapsed. Resignations, denials. Liens lifted, tickets voided. I burned the notices in a bonfire. Ellen and Tom toasting marshmallows. New laws passed. HOA audits, opt-outs, protections. I framed VYN's first ticket beside a community award. Juniper chewed hay, unimpressed. My ranch was free. VYN's empire dust. But late at night, under those stars, I wondered who else she'd targeted. Folks without goats or lawyers, still caught in traps. I'd won, but the fight felt bigger. For now, though, I'd take the quiet, the hay, and Juniper's stare. It was enough. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.